मुझे पुलिस वाला बना दिया था उन्होंने, किया सर पुलिस का यूनिफॉर्म देखिए, नॉक करके मुझे ऐसे फाइट डन करना था, तो जैसे नॉक करके मैंने किया तो मेरा हाथ ऐसे there you can't stop that will happen, तो हो गई बटरफ्लाई जो इसका होती है वो तो आज मुझे तो नसीब अपनी होती मुझे वो पहले, but then you start you learn to deal with it slowly आप इस पे हो गया.
But I think that's good also.
Yeah, one example like if I'm coming to do a performance, because sometimes some characters need a different kind of rhythm, so you consciously how I can bring in my body that kind of. Initially it was a problem. Initially it took a lot of time for me to become normal afterwards. It always helps when you do one film at a time and you do in a chronological. It always helps. It's a good way. It's a good way to explore the story or a character. I was struggling with myself and by chance I went to meet Jupala. Just to discuss, I thought maybe something might strike something might happen. And I saw his wife. He had a kind of quietness. The way he used to speak, so very calm and just peaceful. So that that gave me a model. That gave me I should be able to bring a rhythm. The way he speaks, the way he talks. That man, gave me a picture of kind of person he should be. How do I do this? Then because the accent was different, it wasn't my accent, so I had to practice it again. So I used to record, so I used to call people who speak Bengali, and I used to tell them how will you speak this line. They used to tell me, I used to record it, and I used to practice it again. So, and because I didn't have enough days, I just keep attending.
And you decided to give the lick yourself?
No, it was there and I was not ready to do the accent, but Meera insisted. She said, no, do this. I thought it might look put on. The accent that we are talking about, it looks put on. It doesn't look, it is old. So that was my challenge. But I had to make it sound like this is language. But somehow there is a benefit in films, film, they form it later. You shoot it once, unless you're right, then you shoot, then they form. Then there's the director who Kumar Khan as a director बाद में editing his music and sounds and then he makes it. So every character needs a different kind of approach. So for me, and one more important thing which is very important for me, there are few films where character is not enough. You know what is the object of this film. ये public को मजा देने की है. इसमें story कितना काम कर रही है पता है. ये जो है, this is for impact, this is for the career. So you do that. So there I don't get into intricacies of what is mental makeup or what. I need to please the audience. I need to just entertain them. So like Crazy for kind of films, foolish films, I cannot go deeper into a single side because lines doesn't support me, the whole setup doesn't support me, the function of the film is not that. So basically it's what you are doing, you are being part of a story. What story is doing. So sometimes I take a clue from there. What this character is doing to the story.
So what made you decide to go Crazy for?
Banner, Rakesh Roshan ka naam, and also to tell people that I am okay with imitating film. I can imitate without being carrying the baggage of NSD actor, sensitive actor, serious actor. No, I'm not serious actor.
So you did not actually go through the script and did not really reflect on what we...
The script you have to read, but I didn't do work like schizophrenic. I was playing schizophrenic.
Yeah.
whatever you know. So,
Yeah.
so I watched some tapes, but that if the script and the director would have allowed me to do it, I would have loved it. But the script was such, it was punchlines. Everything was punchline. So how do I do it? But still we did. But the editor fucked it up. Like what I'm saying, the way you are reacting is telling what kind of person you are. If you react in some other manner, I'll come to know यार इसका कुछ और है ये कहीं और. So उन्होंने editing ऐसा किया कि dialogue to dialogue. So now they are from old school. This kind of old school. So they wanted us to play a mentally disturbed guy in the lines. Like when we are saying the lines, then we have to act. I said, this is foolish. We can't do this. You just see us how we are reacting. That will make us, look a little bit mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because when I saw the film, I was surprised as to why did you do that film?
So just being just giving a signal that I'm like an entertainer and I'm part of Project until now you take it. Positioning yourself.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Our whole group has watched and analysed The Warrior, and so we'd love to hear something about that. And your character was so amazing. I've actually had a conversation with you on the set of Right and Wrong about The Warrior. Yeah, in Malaya. And I was speaking to you about that scene where your son dies. And just the look on your face, there's hardly any dialogue in the entire movie. And the expressions you give. What are you thinking about when these things happen?
It's a very interesting thing about Bollywood. At that time, I was thinking of leaving acting, but I was bored. I was bored, completely bored. Because what happens in television, in series, they bring a conflict between some guy, and if it works, they keep on repeating it for 50 episodes, 100 episodes. You keep on doing the same thing again and again. So I left, even though this series called Chandrakanta, which was very popular. वहाँ भी मैंने छोड़ दिया. Then they again called me. They made me as brother. Then Bunny Uppy was also I left. And then after 50 episodes, I was okay. Then again I came back. So I was bored. I was trying to leave acting. And at that time, this guy came as a party, and he was making this film. My friend was using last time. So he said, go and meet him. I said, what is the film? He said, Warriors. I said, नहीं यार बिल्कुल एक बजे मैं गया मैंने जब गया उसका सिचुएशन सुनाया फिल्म का तो I thought something special and I could relate to him the kind of films he was talking the kind of film I like we instantly had a chemistry and later in the DVD he told me he said on DVD on the making that as I entered the doors he saw my eyes and he said I got my character. He was looking, he
Starts with your eyes. Starts with your eyes.
That was in his mind when he said, I want to do the film with eyes. And as eyes open, story unfolds. So that was really, really life-changing film for me because I was bored with that. And another thing which was boring in television was you have to say everything. You don't behave. You say everything. Yeah. So I was quite bored with it. So this film came as a complete contrast. He says, whatever is there, don't say. Just be. And what he said is less is more. Like don't even, do unnecessary gestures. Don't distract the mood. It's almost like, meditation. Just be there in that situation. So that was very, very interesting. And when I saw the film, I said, good. So my opinion changed about myself. The way he presented me, I knew it that this kind of thing.
Was that hard for you, that film, or did it come
No,
naturally?
it was like, like rebirth, I would think. It was like my getting the charge again because whatever I wanted to do, I was doing. And then another interesting thing which happened in Bollywood was this was he did in like in 3 months, 2.5 months, and we continuously working. It was not a break. Like 2 दिन कर लिया फिर break आ गया फिर that affects you. When you do continuously, it grows. So sometimes you get into a film without having full knowledge of the character. You just get there, and from situation to situation, you start groping. You start making things up, and then that opens up. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you don't need to really work too much. Just go there and be aware, be alert, just react, and things start forming. And the other thing which happened in Bollywood was, and at that time I was also trying to produce. So my wife was really worried because we invested out of money. She was saying, "What happened to the series?" I said, "Just fuck that series. I'm not going that way. My life is showing me something, some other way, and I'm just dealing with it. I will be honest with it. I won't distract myself. I don't want to earn that money. I don't want to produce. That's not my temper. I want to, I'm enjoying this life, living in this opportunity." His son's being killed, and he reacts in a manner that he's not noticing. Because the guys are there. So how to do it? So I thought, it's boy should come. He's trying to shout, but it's not coming. It's paralyzed by voice. Sound is paralyzed. So later I understood that what is the significance of that. Yeah, because he has been killing people all his life. Like when he was a gamer. So he has to pay. He can't decide one day that I'm leaving violence and he's scot free. He has to pay what's been done. And the violence, it doesn't leave till the end. So the repercussions, whatever you do, repercussion, it chases you.
So, who are the other actors that inspire you to act or you draw from?
Draw inspiration? Dilip Kumar, Mithun Chakraborty की फिल्म थी, I was very inspired by that.
Sorry?
मृग्या. Then मुझसे नहीं मिलती थी तो मैं वैसे बाल ही बनाई. That's too big, in my curly and art. It used to look awful. And Dilip Kumar की फिल्म है पुरानी. Then
anyone in recent times, somebody who doesn't work in India, like in English or Europe?
I rediscovered Brando. I think he's the greatest, and I can't get over it. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis is ultimate. He's too passionate. Not just about acting, but being, because he went to learn shoemaking for 2 years. So he's passionate about life, and his passion you can see in his performance. There are so many, somewhere, some extent I was like Pacino, because the kind of charisma he carries, it does have me in the kind. It's comfort. It's great.
I would come back to your namesake scene where you give a phone call to your wife stating that you're not feeling well, just came for a regular checkup. That particular scene, was it easy to, or you did special preparation? Because for me, I think that's the best emotion somebody can project.
That scene, because Meera shoots, first I shoot her, and she's a taskmaster. That day we were shooting my kids' birth, my wife coming to the hospital, then the whole issue of when the name issue. There were 5-6 scenes that day. I was not concentrating on anything. I was thinking about that. But I thought these scenes I nikal jayenge. That scene I have to. That's the key scene. So I was internally preparing for that scene. my death was also there that day. And that was terrifying for me because I had this, maybe, I don't know when I woke up, I had claustrophobia problem. I couldn't watch a scene. In my life, only once I couldn't watch one scene was Kill Bill where he put her in that. That's the problem. I couldn't like it. The first time it happened. So, in that scene, what they were doing, there was this real mob in the hospital. And there were bodies inside. They were killed. And it was like, I was supposed to get inside the mob, my body, and they were supposed to lock it. Then they'll say camera on, and then वहाँ से चल के आएगा पूरा गैलरी में चल के आएगा डॉक नर्स फिर नर्स आएगी नर्स देखेगी पूरी तो के अंदर I started shaking. I said, fuck you, don't use that. Please, Irrfan, yaar, big John. And she was also showing concern. यार कैसे यार तो मैं गया पहली बार जब मैं गया was like the shoots so remember the sound of refrigeration I was terrified when they when they took me out in the shot put my eye through okay you know the tension you say Irrfan you can't even yaar se कितना I'm sitting So then next time, I said, let's see what happens. Then when they pushed me inside, I opened my eyes, I looked here, their bodies, and I got comfortable with them. Then the third time was when I said, let me be. When you overcome your fear, it's always a nice thing.
Share your experience working with Nesli and Omkari.
हाँ यार मेरा बहुत मन था इनके साथ काम करने का पहले ओम जी के साथ मैंने कुछ सीरीज की थी ओम जी मुझे हमेशा से बड़े संत टाइप आदमी लगते हैं एक्टिंग के मामले में कुछ भी रोल दे दो बहुत ही पता नहीं क्या उनका सिस्टम है कि बहुत ईज के साथ निकाल देते बिकॉज आई थिंक ही मीन्स इट वेरी वेरी एक्ट it depends on how to be alive. The way he speaks is very convincing. I was very influenced, but I couldn't work till Bakul in the season. The season is a fantastic man. He's, when I was doing my first film with Govind and Anil, his wife was working with me. Irrfan. She was opposite. So he came and he watched our film. He came to the shoot also. So he had good things to say to me about, although I was very, very influenced by him earlier. I was so in awe of him. I used to think, in LSD, if I see him on the road, I'll fall. I'll feel that kind of awe I was. So it was great, It was like, because this film was not, teamwork. Because we did workshop and he conducted the workshop before the film. So, we were easy with us. Good thing with the series, he was very serious about his physical, efficiency. So he's always into exercises, games, he's never like, sport ke pade hue hain. Sabko inspire karte hain, physical things, something physical which keeps your body fit. So that's very good about it. But उनका जो मुझे अब लगने लगा है तो उनका मुझे कंस्ट्रक्शन दिखता है. When he plays a role, you see his drama, you see his craft. Which I personally would not want. I don't want to show my craft. You shouldn't be seeing the grammar because you will be able to see the grammar, the construction. So, but that's his system because he works in theatre. So he still does theatre. And for him, theatre, I think, is the thing. He's passionate about theatre. I think because of that, it shows in some point.
How about Pankaj Kapoor? Was he also?
Pankaj Kapoor is very, he's too serious. He's too serious about his performance. So for me, film is your character is there to support the story. It's not override the story. People should talk because there are films where they never talk about film. They talk about my performance, and I used to feel bad. I used to feel there's a film, talk about the story. Sometimes Pankaj Kapoor, he's excellent. He's too passionate. Too passionate. I think he should. I'm nobody to give advice to. Sometimes, it becomes a little over, like, we're taking a shot. There was long shot, Dargah ka shot, Kani ka shot. And he was there. बाजार के पास में कहीं और जहाँ कैमरा लगा था उसके पास में बहुत बड़ा पेड़ सडनली क्या हुआ बादल से आ गए और हवा चलने लगी उस पेड़ से पत्ते से गिरने लगे तो कैमरामैन ने डायरेक्टर ने कहा तो उन्होंने कहा पकड़ अरे यार मेरा रुमाल he was bothered about रुमाल and he didn't know the shot तो रुमाल कहाँ गया है अरे वो तू दिख नहीं रहा but he's very particular and it shows Steve unforgettable. That's the performance. Unless until you are that passionate, you cannot do that kind of performance. Super. I think he hasn't got his due. As he will get his due, he will please. जो सारा जितना भी टेंशन है वो नसीब उनको ज़्यादा मिलता है ये उन्हीं के टाइम के लिए उतना इनको नहीं मिलता जितने टैलेंट मिलना चाहिए I think मिल जाए
How do you feel your emotions? Do you draw from your imagination or how do you feel?
Sometimes you imagine parallel situations. It's all about igniting yourself. How to do that ignition. And you have to discover yourself what does something. And for every situation you have to be, you should try everything. And there's no one thing which will, make it happen. You can't make a formula. You cannot be formula. You have to understand yourself. You have to keep trying different things. Like in Makbul, I'm always, little bothered when it's very emotional scene. It's always there in your head. You think, yeah, the emotional scene will be so there was a scene where I cried when she starts to, yeah. So first day, because I was too much concerned about that scene, I was trying to construct it, I was trying to feel too much. I didn't like myself. But next day, because we couldn't frame the scene, next day, something happened. It was just a touch of, I think, of Kabul. उसके हाथ को मेरा touch था that something happened. Something came in my mind like, this girl, मुझे कहाँ से लेकर कहाँ तक लाई है? Now she's moving. That thing stuck in my head and I started crying. And I started crying, not with sadness. I could watch myself, I'm crying. And I just let myself be. And then I didn't bother about where to go, what to do. I just know that it was like a spontaneous thing, my head, I just felt out, stopped. And for hours I kept crying. I was drinking tea, I was doing makeup, I would go watching my best, I was crying. Something, happened there. And that thing was, that realization that this girl, कहाँ से मुझे मैनिपुलेट करते प्यार करते कहाँ लाएंगे वो कहाँ छोड़ने लग गया It's all different, हर प्रोजेक्ट का अपना सिग्निफिकेंस होता है लाइक आपने इनसे आपको बताया वो जिसमें ये फिल्म का जो कर रहा हूँ इसके लिए I'm trying to, because I have started this knee problem because I'm playing a lot of tennis on hard court, but I'm a disc problem. Now I'm playing athlete and I have to run stable seat where you have to jump. So for me, the basic homework is to to strengthen my muscles. यहाँ का और यहाँ का ताकि Then you do research, like this is a real story. So I'm collecting all the material which is available about this guy. And all the views, the लोगों के views. क्योंकि सबके अपने अपने अलग अलग views. कोई बोलता है कैसा था, कोई बोलता है वैसा, कोई बोलता है. But there is something common about, in everybody's we talk about. There's something common that was although it was a bit wild, he used to kill people, but it was good. So that thing, people's view and research material and whatever, it's making a picture in my head at that time. His photographs, one child is still there, his wife is there. So we went there, we shot everything, and watching them day by day. Then the policeman who killed him, he has his own view. And that forms a kind of picture, easy picture about it. Then the accent is different. It's an MP called Madhya Pradesh. So that I'll start practicing. And I'll keep in mind that it shouldn't become so difficult that people don't understand. The basic purpose is so that people could understand. But I should give an impression that he's from this region. That language should sound good. It shouldn't become burden. Sometimes you do a lot of work, it becomes burden for the audience. You put so much into it that it becomes burden. क्या बोल रहे समझ नहीं आया, समझ में तो आएगा. लेकिन audience I should be able to understand what he say. मैंने इतना काम कर लिया कि मैं इतना गाढ़ा मैंने accent बना लिया कि वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा लोगों को. क्या मतलब? So that also you have to keep in mind that it's communication. It's a communication. You have to communicate first. Then
You are probably the finest actor of our generation. What is work in natural work for you and madness work for you?
Madness.
For example,
Madness brings the madness. If you're mad, if you're passionate, if you're really passionate, then you will create your own method. There's no one method. Everyone will create their own method. It's system. But if you have a lot of information, it counts. It counts when your craft is good, then everything counts.
how long it takes to get this madness act? Have you worked in the last 3 months
You should bring it. That's why I told you in the beginning that I was too eager. And that you can. You should be passionate, but you should be. You should keep doing it. Just keep doing it, and don't be in a hurry to research. It will come on its own. जितना एक्सपोज जितना आप एक्सपोज होते हो जितना देख सकते हो डिफरेंट तरह की चीजें. In the beginning, what happens, in eagerness, you start relating everything. Like, there used to be some physical movement class. You used to think, what do I do that? Music. I said, no. Now I repent. I should have done those music classes. Because everything counts. Because in the beginning, in the hurry, in eagerness, you start relating to directly. What will इससे क्या फायदा? You should keep open your door. Let things come in. Everything will.
You said initially.
कैसे में एक एक्सरसाइज है जो स्लो मोशन में 7 दिन तक करवाया जाता है. उठते बैठते खाते सोते 24 आवर्स रात में सोते हुए भी एक्सरसाइज होता है. आंखें बंद करके या फिर आंखें खोल के स्लो मोशन में या फिर कुछ खाना या फिर सोना या फिर इधर से उधर जाने के लिए माइक्रो सेकंड में बात किया जाता है. बहुत स्लोली एंड थिंकिंग का होता है. जो इनहेल एक्सेल होता है तो बहुत ही जोर से इनहेल एक्सेल करके यहाँ से लिया जाता है. छाती से करना होता है कि मेरा दूसरा है ये छाती में करके लिया जाता है छाती तक. इसे ये करने से पॉकेट पॉकेट ईयर पॉकेट जैसे गले में होता है, छाती में होता है, लंग्स में पॉकेट होता है डायलेक्ट्स की। अगर मैं डायलेक्ट्स को तो मैं ठीक ना करूँ कि मेरा डायलेक्ट कौन सी डायलेक्ट से कौन सी पॉकेट इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। ये पॉकेट जब इस्तेमाल होता है तो ऑटोमेटिकली कैलकुलेटेड होता है वो ऑपरेशन डायलेक्ट बोलने के समय। मैं ठीक ही ना करूँ वो डायलेक्ट पॉकेट के लिए ऐसे बहुत सारे हजार पॉकेट तैयार हो जाते हैं। मैं इतना टाइम ही नहीं है, मैंने लिया मैं ऐसे ही क्लियर करता था
स्टेटमेंट
मेरे लिए कौन सा इलाज ठीक होगा कि मैं पॉकेट तैयार करने के लिए शॉर्ट टाइम में कैसे पॉकेट बनाऊँ, क्योंकि मेरे लिए पॉकेट चाहिए डायलेक्ट के लिए। मैं ना तो यहाँ से बोल रहा है यहाँ से लेकर
That's an exercise you should do it with honesty, sincerity. And don't bother about कि ये कैसे पॉकेट तैयार हो. Forget about the pocket. It will वो अपने आप तैयार हो जाएगा. And first you have to work on your accent. You are trying to work here. You have to first make it clear. Like it shouldn't sound like you're from Eastern region, right? First you have to work on that, and then just keep doing these exercises. And then how it will affect, you don't bother about it. It will affect the opening so. Dialogue, I think you should learn it so much that you shouldn't worry when you're saying it. You shouldn't worry about learning it. Remember it. It should be in your system. That line, not just the line, the meaning of the line. What you are trying to say, what you are doing with that line. You don't mean everything when you say it. Right?
बहुत सारे ऐसे इलीगल ऑपरेशन हो जाते थे करना नहीं है, ऐसे भी हो सकते जैसे जिसके या फिर उसका साथ लेना या फिर आपके तबियत शायद से एक्सीडेंट होके होता है। तो ये अगर ऐसे रेडिया होता या फिर डायरेक्ट स्पीड भी होगी या फिर आहिस्ते आहिस्ते होगी, जब मैं घबरा गया कैमरा के साथ आहिस्ते देना डेली ये प्रॉब्लम है। तो इस स्पीड पढ़ने में बहुत टाइम लगता है। स्पीड पढ़ने के बाद में डायरेक्ट डिलीवरी है वो आहिस्ते दूँ या धीरे से या फिर कोई एक्सप्रेशन कैसा कैसा इसे पकड़ने से कुछ एक्सप्रेशन ऐसा होता है फेसी का या फिर आइस या फिर ऐसे एक्सप्रेशन छूट जाए। ये तो
नोटिसिंग है और आपको ये बोलना तेज बोलना इस पर ध्यान न देती है। if you can understand what the character is trying to do, उसका इंटेंशन क्या है। आप अगर ये करेंगे कि मैं लाइन को धीरे बोलूँगा और ये एक्सप्रेशन दूंगा तो इट विल बी मैकेनिक। If you understand the intention of the character, what he's trying to do, maybe whatever he's saying doesn't mean it. He's trying to have something else. He's trying to do something else. Whatever he's saying, maybe doesn't mean it. So you have to understand the intention of the character. Yeah? So go through that.
Do you experience change in your behavior and body language every time you research on a different character?
Yeah, sometimes some characters need a different kind of rhythm. So you consciously try and figure it out. Okay, how I can bring to my body that kind of rhythm.
And how do you take the break or come to the normal situation if you have a back-to-back films and every time?
That again, it becomes a practice. Initially, it was a problem. Initially, it took a lot of time for me to become normal after work. I couldn't work after. For 6 months, I couldn't shoot. Because I was too much in that. I used to, when they used to come to shooting, I used to cry. I said, don't want to shoot this. Now it's okay. Sometimes you shoot still like this film. One scene, exactly. We were trying to do it in chronological order, but now budget constraint is like that. Now we are starting from somewhere else. In the middle, then Bachpan, then this. So after some time, you practice and it helps. But it always helps when you do one film at a time and you do in a chronological order. It always helps. It's a good way. It's a good way to explore a story or a character.
But like in the namesake, you said you based your character on a real life experience, that the person you met. Does that happen very often? That there are times you just prepare a character from your own past experience with someone?
Sometimes past experiences, sometimes people you have seen, sometimes it's like imagination, sometimes you just imagine a person. You know, if you are attentive, if you are alert, the script shows you the way. If you understand the purpose of the script, it shows you the way how to approach this character. So it's not a fixed thing. Sometimes some behavior stays in your mind and you think, yeah, this is good in this character, it's interesting. It will add something, some dimension to this. So you bring that.
Thanks. You said that initially the camera used to stifle you as a close-up वगैरह में आ गया, and now you are one of the very few actors who are very natural in front of the camera. So वो change कैसे आया? I mean, क्या what happened?
It's all again, practice. Just practice and be attentive that I want to become good. That was my goal. That was my motive. I should enjoy myself when I'm in front of that. Because I did a play, Blue Hostel Red Grass in 13. And when I was on stage, I couldn't see myself. So that day, I really shot it. When I saw myself, I was telling myself, too bad. I'm in a hurry. I'm afraid. I want to finish it quickly. I don't have courage. So you should have that courage and ease to enjoy it. And I was constantly concerned about that. I should reach a stage where I enjoy it on the stage. And so your internal work is constantly happening. You're working again and again. You know that it's not nice. It's forcing. There was some kind of force. What should have been better. So you keep on talking to yourself.
You also said that it happened when you got bored of acting. What do you mean by that?
Because when you're too concerned, you stifle yourself. If you're bored, then you don't care. So you, instead of thinking, yes, it's good. Then you don't put too much, it's not loaded. So when it's ease, then you can add on things. But if you, sometimes what happens, actors got too much of character. That becomes, but it's all a different kind of system. It's not necessarily this is good or this is bad. You have to discover your own way. You have to find your own system, which works for you. So take as much information, as much experience, as much experimentation you can do, and you discover it.
Sir, our course is almost over now, and we will start on a search for job and auditions and all. What advice you will give to us from your experience?
Go look for a job. There's no. It all depends what you are looking. What kind of work you are. But it is, it will be, it will be great if you could really continue your practice, because this is a little tough work, and sometimes forget about things. You just get swayed by this pressure of taking work. But you must understand that life chance daily. Because my problem when I came to Bombay, my biggest problem was I was losing my inspiration. Because it's not that I was born to do acting. So, so after a point, I started losing it. So, what happened? So I bought VCR, then I used to watch films, and because here there's no atmosphere is not important. It's like market, you can't see anything, you can't watch anything. There's no plays, good plays, or it's not art, mahal where you spies. There's nothing to see. Watch Bollywood films, European films, and spies.
Sir, is there a particular genre of acting that you enjoy the most? Like,
comedy or drama? I mean, according to genres.
Yeah.
Or do you,
Initially, I wanted to learn real behavior. That was my concern. But now it's not like that. It's like you should be able. The role should be fun for you. It could be anything. You would want to play that. But there should be urge to do that.
was Warrior like the toughest role you've played?
It wasn't tough. It wasn't tough. It was easy. Tough was these acting, these serial acting where you do things where you're not convinced. Films like, Money Patti Kuchi Ka Film.
Killer.
No, not Killers.
Rogue.
Rogue ke pehle. Gunaah.
What is one dream role of yours that you would like to play? That it may just be in your mind, or you may have just seen someone play it or something.
I want to play Jim Morrison, although I'm too old for it. I want to experience that ecstasy, that high, where he used to dance on the stage. He used to be some kind of rock. It's something because I believe his feminine side was very, powerful, very, very sensitive. So I would love to do that. I still hear his lyrics and it's just all real life characters, which inspired me. Suddenly I realized that this Steve O, his temperament. Then I realized this is character. What we call character, that's character. How he, without any style, without any charisma, his inner power changed everything. Character is inspired.
मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ कि कोई भी इमोशनल सीन करते टाइम जैसे हमें यहाँ पे सिखाया है कि या तो पास्ट की कोई मेमोरी उठाओ उसको याद करके या फिर बी इन प्रेजेंट, तो दो हैं, तो आप कौन सा जब आप करते हैं कोई इमोशनल सीन तो आप कौन
कभी पास्ट की मेमोरीज रिलेट करने के लिए, उस इमोशन को आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए या उसको महसूस करने के लिए यू गो इन योर पास्ट पैरेलल काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन, you meditate on it, you just experience it and you reproduce it. Sometimes in the present, present because it takes time for you to be alert, to react. So if you could do that, then in the present and you can really react to it, that's great. That's the.
एक बार पास्ट का याद करके मैं कर तो सिर्फ 1 मिनट के लिए वो इमोशंस आया फिर वापस आया, बस वापस वैसा.
Then आपको बार-बार ढूंढना पड़ेगा कि एक पास्ट से ऐसा हुआ था, अब मैं कुछ और उसको, क्योंकि आप माइंड को यू कैन नॉट कंट्रोल इट, so you can't ask yourself to emote. So आपको थोड़ा सा अपने आप को ईज रखना पड़ेगा ताकि वो इमोशन को आप फोर्स नहीं कर सकते. आपको हल्के से अपने को ले जाना पड़ेगा कहाँ जहाँ से वो इमोशन जनरेट हो, और हर बार अलग अलग चीजें ट्राई करनी पड़ेगी. तो एकदम से एक कोई फॉर्मूला नहीं होता कि ये किया तो हो जाए. वो आप कॉन्स्टेंटली ढूंढते रहते.
When you started your career in the beginning, as in when you first faced the camera and all, were you ever really nervous, as in your heart beating really fast?
First time when I was doing this, it was during second year, and somebody said, you're going to go into this series, which was Catholic series. I went there, and Vijayendra Khatke was the main lead, and he was playing some गाँव का with shampooed hair and everything, चमक रहा है बस. ऐसा था उनका नहीं, मुझे पुलिस वाला बना दिया था. उन्होंने किया सर पुलिस का भी रिपोर्ट करके नॉक करके मुझे ऐसे फाइट गन करना था. तो जैसे नॉक करके मैंने किया तो मेरा हाथ ऐसे किसको लेके आए, किसको लेके आया. एक बार मुझे ऐसा हुआ था कि वो सीरीज में किसी में काम वन स्टोरी, the producer didn't pay me, she's paid half. पूरा आपने खराब कर दिया.
So how did you get over that? I mean, how do you control yourself from not letting your heart beat so fast? And when you're there, you're doing the scene.
Initial heartbeat होता ही है. When you're there, well, you can't stop. That will happen. That तो हो गई बटरफ्लाई जो इसका होती है वो तो आज मुझे तो नसीब साहब की होती मुझे वो पहले but then you start you learn to deal with it. You learn to pretend that nothing happened. And then you slowly आप चीज़ पे हो गया.
But I think that's good also.
Yeah.
For the moment.
Yeah, you can use that. You can use that.
But if you become more overconfident, then it's like you will not able to deliver what you do.
Like one example, like if I'm coming to do a performance, every day I come from the same way or a different way. Something happens at your home. Maybe I see an accident in the road, and it hits me somewhere. It just affects me completely. It's up to me if you use that or not. You can use that. You can use that experience and you come with that experience and live that. You can do that. But there are people who will say no, you should do exactly what you want. So it's up to you. I would like to use it.
How do you manage to switch on and switch off characters? If you're doing full shoot with 3 days and 3 days, it gets repetitive and very mechanical at times. So especially for a starter, newcomer, it's difficult. So what you advise?
Just keep doing it.
So it comes to experience.
Experience. And film there is a benefit. Film you don't have to do one. You keep.
Yes, not like some activities.
Yeah, you can keep on doing it. That's why there's so many non-actors who flourish. Like I was naming the star came to this kind of acting school somewhere, and बोला कि acting का हमारा कौन है? हेड ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट कौन है? अरे वो चूतिया गुजर चलो क्या एक्टिंग वगैरह क्या सुनना तुम? एक्टिंग में कुछ नहीं करने का. सामने कैमरा है, एंग्री, कैमरा ऑन, म्यूजिक रोना है, लिस्टिन डाला, म्यूजिक चलेगा एक्टिंग क्या म्यूजिक आओ सब जिम अब ये सब नहीं है, बॉडी बनाओ मसल. एंड यू वेंट टू द जिम. वो जिम जो इंस्ट्रक्टर था उसका बैंड हो चूतिया सारा इधर रोने लग गया. बात छोड़ के चला जाऊंगा.
कौन है
अभी तक नहीं बात हुआ.
Between two films, normally if you have time, like if you have like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, as an actor, what do you do in those times to keep yourself? Because probably after a high in your film that you probably experience the character and then you unlearn the character and get to a normal life, that probably at times it becomes boring, become restless. So what is the process that you go through in your mind or something that which helps you to again get back to your...
Well, personally now I have a different view about acting. I'm not really so next life. I don't think I'll become an actor. So for me, it is a little false story, which I don't want to talk about it, because it's not right for you. Right? So earlier I used to watch films, read a lot, and that's it. We don't have much. It's not New York, where things are happening. There's so much to see, so much to get inspired. You here just watch films, see plays, and read or interact. If you could really see life, that's the best. Otherwise, everything is false. Film, they are all manipulated things. That's why I enjoy documentary. I don't watch fiction. Fiction is my movie. It's all constructed. Sometimes, even writing is also. I don't read a lot of fiction. I don't read. But you must do it because it's your work. But if you could relate to life, to watch life, to see life, that's the best.
So, finally,
It's a series. I'll come again. If somebody is waiting for me at Land's End and मेरा फिल्म का इसका प्रमोशन है और इंटरव्यू के लिए एक सीडी में आपको छोड़ जा रहा हूँ